Before we get into traffic and then into the Dudleytown update, I kind of need help. I don't want to say the wrong things, use the wrong terminology, so we brought in a friend to the show, old friend to the show, and State Representative Bill Buckby.
Hey,
What's
Bill.
up, Billy?
It's kind of strange here. You say my real name. It's kind of weird.
I know. I know. We call you Mo for so long, you know.
Sure.
So you and I had a brief conversation yesterday. I sent you a document that I had found online in relation to this Dudleytown investigation, and I just had some questions for you, and I'm going to ask a few more now. What terminology do I use for the piece of paper that you and I discussed yesterday? This was submitted to state representatives at the time in 2017?
Yeah, so it's testimony. So that means that person sent in their thoughts of what they'd like to the committee that's looking at everything there.
Okay, and this is written testimony in support of what was at the time would have been an amendment to the state constitution of Connecticut.
That's how it looks to me, yeah.
Okay, and then you helped me read the chart, which the state stuff, this government stuff is so complicated, and you told me that, I asked you if this amendment was ever adopted. What was the story on that? No?
So, yeah, it looks like it got only so far. When it passes committee, it still has to be brought up by the Senate and the House,
right,
in either order, and it looks like it kind of got, it died on the vine there in the Senate.
All right, we love you. Thank you.
Love you, brother.
All right, there you go. Bill Buckby, state representative from Connecticut. Mo from New Milford, Connecticut. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Anytime, guys.
I needed help reading what I was reading, I get the gist of what was presented, but I didn't want to use the wrong terminology. And we found what is public information. Anybody can find this. In my research.
You have to dig for it?
Yeah, I kind of had to dig. Okay. And in my research, I tripped over this, and it was, this Dark Entry Forest Association, the ownership group for the Dudleytown property, it seems that they're becoming the story because they're so secretive. They have a creepy name, and nobody can find out anything about them. But this is one of the few public documents I could find so far. And as Bill told us, this is written in testimony in support of what would have been an amendment to the Connecticut state constitution, right? Now, I'll tell you, I freaked out, because I've been hitting walls left and right.
Yeah.
In this document, I found the first time I see their name on letterhead, found a P.O. box, a name attached to it, and an email address.
For Dark Entry?
Yeah, so I emailed them, you should know, and they did not get back to me. I'll come back to that.
All right.
But basically, this is in support of, it's hard to explain, but basically, how do you pronounce the Wyandotte State Forest?
Not quite positive.
If I'm correct, that is the neighboring property to Dudleytown, right? And the state controlled. And all of this lobbying that's done here in the testimony by the Dark Entry Forest Association is to keep that in place. Mm-hmm. Is basically asking them, hey, Connecticut, state of Connecticut, please don't sell this.
You want me to take that or
ever? I don't know. I'm just shaking it in your face. I gave you a copy.
I've got it.
I could read it to you, but it'll take forever. It's basically lobbying the state to say, hey, don't ever sell this land. And it's all under the umbrella of protecting the environment, staying green, protecting ecology and animals. It all looks great on the surface. Like, hey, we're green. We're trying to just protect forests. But why else would they want to do this? I'm asking you.
You know what? Here's my deal. My deal is, if nothing is going on there, why are you just trying to be so evasive about it?
Right. But that's not my question.
What's your question?
Let me just tell you what I think. Another reason, other than protecting the local environment, protecting the forest from development, would be, say, the state did decide to sell the neighboring property, the state forest, to a private person.
Okay.
Then that opens the floodgate to, whoever that private person is, or, that's the entryway.
Right.
To get into Dudleytown.
Okay. So to get into dark entry.
Yeah, it's in Dark Entry.
Via the forest.
Best interest, if they do have a secret to keep the state as a partner in secrets. I don't know. Dude, I don't know, but...
Snakes?
But nobody wants to talk about it. And everybody wants me to stop talking about it. And that
but why?
Stinks of secrets.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So the person who is listed in this document has a connection to the town of Cornwall. I'm not going to say the name. I'm trying to avoid, shouting people out. I'm not trying to ruin a bit of life here or get them all fired up or having other people other than us ask them questions. But they have a connection to the town. They have a position in the town. And so when I emailed the Dark Entry email, I get no response, of course. But 10 minutes later, I get another response from the town of Cornwall, a very professional, email.
From this person?
Saying, hey, we've told you several times from several departments, we do not have the information you requested in your freedom of information request. And here's the departments that you sent those FOIA requests to. Right. and here is what we're saying officially. I just thought the timing that was odd, that I emailed Dark Entry, and then minutes later, I get another email from Cornwall, who I kind of stopped emailing them.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Did this individual say what his title was, or what?
From Cornwall?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It wasn't the person.
It wasn't the person that you had me research.
No. Don't bring that up.
I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm just trying to answer some questions here.
Yeah. So what else did I find out? I can tell you that I sent a Freedom of Information request to the state trooper barracks because Cornwall doesn't have its own police department, and they have yet to get back to me. Now, I requested a lot of information, but by now they should at least reach out and say, hey, well, we're working on it, or it's denied.
Let me ask you a question.
But they have not responded to me.
Since we're running out of time on this segment, let me ask you a question. Resetting what, and I don't say this condescendingly, but what do you want to find out with this whole investigation?
What do I want out of this?
Yeah, what do you want out of this?
I want somebody who we can confirm represents the Dark Entry Forest Association to join us on the show. I have about 15 questions for them. They can answer them, not answer them, but I want them to publicly be asked the questions.
Okay.
And, my Hail Mary pass, what I really like is them to have a media day. I've said this since the beginning.
Right.
Just invite the media out for one day.
And let them ask questions.
Have a park ranger lead people around. Somebody falls and gets sued. Those are the two things I would want out of this.
Okay.
All right? I have to tell you also, I'm done with the survey fight. I asked a few people that I know that know about these things, and it turns out when I talk about the survey, they told me they didn't have a survey. I said I didn't believe it. They've told me several times that they do not have a survey of Dudleytown. I asked a few people outside of their town, is that possible, even though it's the most famous piece of land in their town? And they said, yes, it's very possible. So I kind of fumbled through the early stage of this. My Freedom of Information requests were asking for things I maybe didn't have the right to ask for, number one. I might have asked for, my information requests were a blanket letter that I wrote and sent to several different departments. So I have to get more specific and send them out. And I'm going to do that today.
What is next on your agenda here?
What's next is I'm going to tighten up my Freedom of Information requests, send new ones out. I'm going to reach out to the Dark Entry Forest Association and again, take another shot at that. I will tell you that I got this ominous letter from my cousin yesterday.
Right. I remember that. That scared me.
It says, Lou, this is the craziest thing ever. And I don't have your cell phone number because I've changed it a million times. But I was woken up last night by an angel that I couldn't see or hear. But he had a message from God and told me to tell you to stop talking about that town. That is the place of the damned. And she said, I'm shaking typing this. Take from that what you want. I love my cousin Tia. She's awesome.
Okay.
There's just a lot here, and I don't know where to stop. Like I stopped you short of, I told you to research the person that I was talking about. I don't want to shout out their name. I want people to answer questions about the place.
All right. Okay.
There you go, buddy. That's what I got for now.